the Los Angeles Chargers, 11-6 in 2024. They got the Harbaugh bump. Did some cool things last year. Still Justin Herbert with the quarterback. Still a lot of the same staff. Still a lot of the same faces, really, let's be honest with on this team, for better or for worse. Defensive coordinator Jesse Minter also did some really cool stuff on defense. Kind of got the most of that part, or most of the parts there. The Chargers, though, this Chargers offense that really, statistically, not as great as you would think when you look at it, but still, I think they made the most of what they had. How are you feeling about this Chargers offense? How do you think the skill guys shake out? Is the offensive line enough to make them back to the playoffs?
Yeah, that last question is the big one, and we gotta update the depth chart here, of course, because Rashawn Slater is not going to be the left tackle. No. He's out for the season. It's Joe Alt, and then I've watched a lot of Chargers over the last few years, especially when I was doing the show with Eckler. So I'm aware of Trey Pipkins. I've watched a lot of Trey Pipkins, and he's back.
I was wondering if his name would come up.
He's back as the starting right tackle. They obviously played some games with like Bradley Bozeman, Zion Johnson, like who's center, who's left guard.
Yeah,
it just, to me, I just wonder if, and I know like, God, Charles made that point on the draft show, and I was like, I think the Samarian Hampton pick is really cool. And he's like, yeah, but they still didn't do anything on the interior offensive line. It's like, yeah, probably right. Mekhi Becton, I do think, will be a good fit at right guard for what they want to do in the run game. But it would have been real. I think he would have been much better if Joe Alt was at his right, like at his right side. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah. That to me is tough. Now you've got like a question mark at center and a question mark at right guard in between a guy that you're hoping continues to, like, he's graduated from, we always call it like Jeff Stoutland University. Like he's graduated from Jeff Stoutland University, and like he's in the workforce now. He's progressed to getting a career. Yeah. He's retained everything. Maybe he's going to the Jim Harbaugh's master program, you know? So I do think that that's going to be interesting. Just watching that, like the Zion Johnson, Mekhi Becton, Trey Pipkins, like, that part of the offensive line, I don't know. Yeah, so that part that's my biggest hesitation, because otherwise I think the receiver room is interesting. Keenan Allen being back there will just, like, he'll be Keenan Allen. Vlad McConkey's a superstar, like a true superstar receiver.
Keenan Allen.
I mean, I'm not saying that disrespectfully. There's probably not a lot of teams where I would have been like gassed up about Keenan Allen being there, but like, okay, he knows this quarterback. They get each other. It's fine. Yeah, he's Keenan Allen. That's where he's at this point in his career. He's
5-yard reception on 3rd and 4 from the slot. That's Keenan Allen.
Well, at least, hey, better whatever the hell he was doing in Chicago last year, when it's like, hey, Keenan Allen, why don't you clear out the seam for us? Oh, yeah, God. Great. That's that. Hey, Keenan Allen, run it. Speeds. Oh God, you got to look up his average route depth. I'm sure it was like the highest of his career. I can't remember running that many deep routes ever. And anyways, no Bears talk, please. But yeah, I think the skill position players are interesting. Justin Herbert last year was 4th in adjusted yards per attempt, behind the 2 MVP bros, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Jared Goff last year. So he did take a step forward from I think that offense was good for him. I think Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman were good for him, getting him out of his shell. But these are a lot of things I'm excited about, Nate. And then I can't stop looking at this center to right guard combination right here.
Yep. That's
center to right tackle.
It's like, no, I'm with you. It was especially in the offensive line and a run game, because Greg Roman just always thinks, he has the Stanford O-line or the original San Francisco 49ers O-line or the Ravens O-line when he took over there. That's like, well, just pull them, road grade them, pull them again. It's like, well, if you're going to pull your guys, who usually pulls? The guards and centers. And who has the hardest down blocks? The guards and centers. So you need talent there. You need some, with the Ravens, you had some all pros and pro bowlers. With the 49ers, you had some good players too. Like, you need guys that are good to do that stuff. It's a high risk, high reward type of run system. So that's where it's like, they're going to run the ball, and Hampton's going to provide more. I brought up those yards after contact stats. Like, Hampton's going to provide some juice. It's just that I think it's more of the same up front, where it's just going to be like, it's going to be frustrating. And then they're going to create some 3rd and 8s, and Justin Herbert's going to have to hero ball it sometimes. So like that, it just feels more of the same last year. Even if I'm with you, I'm pretty optimistic about the team. And I like a lot of the stuff that they got going. Ladd's obviously a star. Like this off, they're going to make the most of their guys, but sometimes they just have these, they can't get out of their own way a little bit. This offense last year was 17th in suplex, 25th in rushing suplex, but then, 12th in DVOA and 14th in EPA per play. They're good situationally, third down, red zone and stuff, but it's just those early downs. It's kind of the same discussion with the Broncos a little bit, where it's like, make the early downs more worthwhile. And you've made this reference before that felt last year like it was a lot like CJ Stroud the year before. We're running it because that's our identity. All right, it's another 3rd and 9. Go get him, CJ. You got it, buddy. And it's like here, it's like, all right, go get him, Justin. You got it. Make a guy miss. Throw 25 yards down the field. Great job. First and 10. All right, here's another power run for 2 yards. 2nd and 8. That's their identity. And until they improve the guard play, I don't think it's going to change, or interior line play. Joe Alt, though, is a star, absolute star. Hit pick. He can play left tackle fine. That's where most people projected him. It's pretty outstanding. He was great on the right side as well. He 6.6% one-on-one pressure rate, was 8th among all tackles last year, full-time starters, about the same as Lane Johnson. I don't know if people know that. He's pretty good. And the 2nd best among all rookie tackles since 2019. Anton Harrison had a good one for the Jags. He dropped off last year, but he had a good one for the Jags. But yeah, there's the Will Dissly connection. There's Ladd I like. I even like the tight end they drafted on day 3, Oronde Gadsden from Syracuse. He's going to provide a little bit more juice in that tight end room. But to me, it's just, man, I just need maybe one more little bump. They try to address receiver juice and get an outside guy, but then they kind of left the interior line to rot a little bit. And they're saying it's going to be the coaching, but I'm not optimistic because I kind of know what they're getting there. So I think he'll be fine. And I think Herbert will provide some highs, but it's just not enough to get me over the top. Jesse Minter, defense, Michigan guy, Harbaugh guy, that's what just seems to happen with these guys. Did a really good job, really good game planning defense. You're number 9 preseason defense. They were 11th in weighted DVOA, and they're kind of in that range with all the underlying stats. But this Chargers defense, what stands out to you? Do you think it can be a little bit more real? Like, I'm not trying to take away what they were last year because they're so well disciplined and game plan, and they got some talent. But do you think they did enough this offseason, or are you a little bit more optimistic that maybe against better opponents they can hold the fort?
Yeah, I definitely think that what impressed me so much about this team was just like the communication and how they would pass guys off in the secondary against zone cover or in zone coverage. That was really impressive to me. Dante Jackson starting at corners, like, okay, I think that's probably fine, right? But that's one spot where I'm like kind of squinting at. But Cam Hart still in these guys, Derwin James still playing pretty well in the secondary. Like I do think this is a really good, and in the linebacker room too, like is a good unit as well. So to me, I think they'll be tough to run on because Tyre Tart is like he's like a mercenary nose tackle, but he's a pretty good solid player. Khalil Mack still obviously he's coming off like a couple of great seasons as an edge rusher, and he's just a dog still in the run game to me. Like he's just always so competitive. So
he'll be able to play for
great
5
against
more
the
years
run.
just being a run defender.
I was gonna say he'll probably be like a great run defender when he's 50. Like I don't know if he'll be getting any sacks, but it'll be a great run defender when he's like 50 freaking years old. He's just such like he's just a tank. Like he's truly is a tank. Yeah, him and Calais Campbell when they're like in the old folks' home are just they're a lockdown run defense, a brick wall out there. But yeah, man, I do think this defense is pretty interesting, especially just I was really impressed with how well they communicated on the back end and they made it tough. Like pre and post snap, they made things tough on quarterbacks last year.
They did. They were, I think you even look at some of the stats, like red zone and third down will have some noise year in, year out, but really it comes down, on offense, it's the quarterback, but also it's the coaching because that's game plan. That's very designery week in, week out. You got these certain coverages you have to go against last year, or on defensive side, certain pass plays you have to go against or run plays. They were awesome in situations, which I think reflects what Minter is doing and that coaching staff's doing. First in red zone efficiency, and 5th and third down conversion rate. They play a ton of quarters. And I also recommend anybody who plays college football or Madden and has trouble on defense, just run quarters every play. And that's why defenses do it too. You keep everything on top. You can adjust everything. Hey, 12-year-old on too much sugar. Can you get another 5-yard gain?
Well.
That's it. Just got to tackle. But if you have
be a good tackle team.
If you game plan well, in theory, you have a lot of defenders near the ball. So it's like, hey, boom, in theory, you should tackle well if you game plan well. They did. They only allowed their third explosive plays allowed last year. So I'm with you. They have enough juice at all three levels. They have Derwin James as well. They have enough guys, but then the game plan maximizes it. So I don't think it's a top 5 defense, but this is, to me, you can kind of go, yeah, this is top half of the league easily, probably top 12. 11th away with the DVA kind of feels like the floor. I may ish, or maybe kind of like a mid-tier projection for them, but they got good enough players. They can game plan really well. They make it really hard on lesser quarterbacks because of that. Like what they did to the Browns last year was like they were running the routes for them, and it was pretty cool to watch. So I'm with it. That the only negative of all that, this is just one little side bit. So if you're ever like a props player or anything, you can scramble on this defense. So defenses that run a lot of quarters and run really matchy game planning quarters, all the DBs are looking at the receivers and tight ends. So they're all bracketing them and all that. So then the quarterback can just run free. It's my one little cheat I always look at against some of these teams. And last year they were like 26th and like against scrambles or something. But anyways, fun defense, really well game plan defense. Jesse Minter will probably be a head coach candidate very, very soon. Breakout player for the LA Superchargers. What you got, Matt?
Oh yeah, this is definitely where we talk about Keandre Lambert-Smith. No, I do think he's an interesting rookie for them. Though, like legit guy can play. I know. I think Tuipulotu is probably is my pick here. I think like had a really good rookie season, kind of got a little derailed last year, some injuries, stuff like that. But definitely a guy that I think it can take a step forward. And like honestly, when I look at this defense, it's kind of they need him to take. I don't always want to make these breakout candidates like based on what they need to happen, but I think they kind of need him to take a step forward. And I think Joey Bosa did run his course there, but hopefully this is part of their plan to replace him and. Still good. And like, there was really just like, okay, see you later, Joey. Just, hopefully that Tuli is part of the plan here to replace him. Cause again, like I said, he really, really flashed as a rookie to like get under guys' pads and make an impact as an edge rusher. That's probably the thing that would take this defense from being really good regular season defense, really tough on bad teams. But like you said, when we get faced with the best teams in the NFL, I think they need more disruption. They need more pass rush to not just like, hey, corners really glove this thing up. Like you mentioned, all those quarters coverages and like really shutting down the deep portions of the field. You don't always want to rely on that because sometimes somebody makes a mistake and then Joe Burrow's throwing the thing to T. Higgins over your head and just launching it. Like the thing that can really help
which is what happened.
If you get an edge
which
rusher.
is what happened last year.
Literally, yes, so literally is what I'm not making that up. I didn't pull that out of my ass.
I can tell you it was like 4th and 3. I can tell you.
Yeah, that is a thing that happened. So I mean, yeah, like Tuli stepping up and becoming that edge rusher that I think he was trending to being after his rookie season. And like I said, we just kind of plateaued year 2. Not all his fault, but that's really something that I think can help take this defense to the next level.
No, it's a great one. Bosa's not there. Even if he was, he's barely starting 10 games. He was still on the field. He was very impactful. So no, great call with Tuli, and great call with his rookie season as well. I went with Daiyan Henley, linebacker. Very, very good linebacker. And I think, some hipsters, but some of us are on him. Some of us have touted him as well, but he didn't get any accolades last year. So damn it, I can say breakout player.
Why not?
And I think he's going to get that national kind of bump that, when, Jeremy Fowler is doing his little the top 10 rankings of every position. There's Henley in there. He's getting the bump up there. There's top 3, top 4 up there. But very, very good player. One of these players that got unlocked in the scheme. I think something clicked for him last year. He was always more of an he's a former receiver, more of an athlete than a linebacker. I always thought he was going to be like a run and hit guy. And he's turned into a nice, just all around player. Can take on blocks, good blitzer, can really good in coverage. Yeah. There's some really good young linebackers coming up, and Daiyan Henley is one of those. So, wanted to give him a shout out as a breakout player. 9.5 wins for the LA Chargers. Over or under, Matt? Let's bring it home.
I'll go over. I think this is a 10-win team. I'm not sure they're good enough to win a playoff game, though. That's where I'm.
Man.
I think they'll make playoffs, but I think they might, which will can't wait for more Justin Herbert playoff discourse. Although last year, I think, he could have not thrown like a bajillion interceptions in that game, even if it wasn't all his fault. I do. First one was rough. Definitely didn't help. He didn't do himself any favors, even if there was obviously some contributing factors there. But yeah, like I said, I think this team can win 10 games, and then probably is not quite there. They need better play. Like I said, pass rush, offensive line to get to the next step here.
I am going to go under, but it's not like I think the bottom's falling out. I just think a 9-win team, 8-win team. And then, and they could easily, some things break right. It's just, they got a little lucky last year. They played a pretty soft schedule as well. I mean, Herbert got hurt as well too. So I got to throw that in there. Just, they made upgrades, but not where I wanted to see them. I know that's not fair. You only have so many resources, but there's just maybe a couple more moves I thought they could make that would maybe more optimistic. Interior offensive line, most definitely was probably the one. So I think this is a high floor team that's got a good coach on both sides, and also has what I consider one of the top quarterbacks. So don't see a bottom falling out. Don't see them falling off. They could easily make the playoffs. They could easily win 10 games. I do see, not easily, but they can. That's very much within the realm of what could happen. But I'm just going to go slight under with them, just because some of the stuff is a little worrisome. All right, AFC West. We no, there might be one a little interesting here. But let's say with your final division prediction, who do you got winning the AFC West, Matt?
I have the Chiefs winning the AFC West. Okay. As long as Patrick Mahomes is employed by the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid is his head coach, I'm probably going to pick them for a long time. I remember during the top 10 the top 10 head coaches show that you were kind of like, all right, some of this offense is a little too, like Andy is a little too Andy right now. And I was glad that you were brave enough to say it, because I do feel that way about this team at times, but I'm hoping that we do get a little more verticality, and that again, I think will make them like run away with this division. Even if it's more competitive, even if all these teams are going to be competitive, I still, again, I think the Chiefs win it, and they rest starters in week 18.
I don't think they run away with it. I think the Broncos do make it tight. I think they maybe drop a game to a Chargers and obviously Chargers, but Raiders as well. Like they were going to have a couple of those losses, I do think, but I'm going with the Chiefs as well. I just have become more optimistic about the offense, and then I think the defense is going to be at least mid-tier, and then if not better, if I've underrated a few aspects, but retaining all that and just. I think there are maybe some explosive play changes because of what they are showing at least. And again, it might be lip service, but I am buying it this time more than I did last year. So I'm going to go over. I think it's their division at least for this one more year, and maybe win some playoff games or two. We'll see. But